Okay, Shalom Ubruchi. Bezat Hashem. So we're going to continue with where we left off in Likutey Moharan, Torah Kaf Dalit, Seif Chet, Bezat Hashem. And before we go into that, there's just so many things happening in the world and so many things, in the timing. We're now, Bezat Hashem, right before Tu BiShvat. We're in the month of Shvat, Tu BiShvat, which is going to be 30 days before Purim, and we're already within the 40-day period before Purim.
Been up to stopping
Huh?
now? Been up to stopping
The Shovavim, you mean?
now? There's two. You said that it's split in half.
What's
A
with that?
month and a half and a month and a half last year.
I said that? I don't remember. I don't remember.
You said that they split it into half. But I'm to them, it's supposed to be 3 months. We do a month and a half, right?
Right. Of the
Of the
Shovavim, yeah. So Shovavim, Yitro is the first week of Shvat. Yeah, am I right? It's going to be second. And Mishpat, so yeah, you're right, no. Mishpatim, those already into the pasta, it's already in the third week of Shvat. Mishpatim. Shovavim. Maybe Shovavim Tat, it's different when it's extended.
I think last year you said that
Yeah.
there's 3 months of demon. Right?
4 months of dinim.
4 months?
There's Tevet, Shvat, Tammuz, and Av. And they're split.
So just like Tu BiShvat already starts the Rachmai.
Right. So Tu BiShvat
So
starts
also-
already. In other words, we don't have the full month of difficulty. It's already mitigated from Tu BiShvat. Very good.
4
Okay.
days before Purim is already.
Right. We have just some more insights though. That really the goal of Purim is to subdue Haman, Amalek, and his 10 sons. So that's 10 plus 1. That's 11. The number 11 has a lot of significance. Number 1, it's this month, Shvat, which is the 11th month, which is Mesugal to be Machnia, to subdue the evil forces, believe it or not. That's why the word Shvat is like a rod, a stick, Shevet. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, the Ktoret, where the incense has 11 fragrances. Okay? And the 11 fragrances of the Ktoret are to subdue Haman and his 10 sons. Zelu Matzeh. Okay? Also in the Mishkan, there were 11 Yeriot, 11 drapes covering over the Holy of Holies and the Kodesh. The Hechal and the Kodesh Kodashim had 11 Yeriot, and Rav Nosson says the number 11 is very special. It's the 10 Sefirot and the root of the 10. Okay? It's like we say here in the Kabbalah, there's Keter is number 10. So what's beyond number 10, that 1, it's like before numbering. It's like beyond the Keter. There's something beyond. We're going to go into this a little hopefully today, B'ezrat Hashem. But there's basically 11. There's 10, and the root of the 10, so that makes it 11. So this month is very special. And even though we're still fighting, we're still in Shovavim, we're still in Tshuva, and we're going through leaving the bondage of Egypt, and it's not easy, and everyone has difficulties, but you have some feeling of hope and some energy to fight back and to do things. That's the feeling of Shvat B'ezrat Hashem, that enough is enough. I'm fed up of being convinced and made to feel that I'm nobody, that I'm nothing, and I have no value, and there's nothing to be happy about, and everything is just sad and miserable. Enough of that already. I believe that there's hope, and I want to fight back. So Shvat is a time when people can get up, B'ezrat Hashem, and to fight back. If you notice, okay, Tu BiShvat, and just in general, in Jewish numbering, right, we have Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, okay, Yud is 10, Yud Aleph is 11, Yud Bet is 12, Yud Gimel 13, Yud Dalet 14, and we don't say Yud K 15, because it's Hashem's name, right? We switch to another numbering, which hides Yud K, because you can't say the day is called Yud K, that's Hashem's name. You can't give Hashem's name to a day. The number 15 can't be written Yud K, because that's from Hashem's name, Yud K Vav K. Fine. So we cover it up with Tet Vav. And because we covered that up, also 16, which would have been Yud Vav, also Yud Vav is like from Hashem's Yud K Vav K. It's not actually spelling it out, but it's close proximity. You have the Yud and the Vav. So we covered up also to call it Tet Zayin, 9 plus 7, and Tet Vav, 15 is 9 plus 6, right? So this is the idea of covering up. What's the idea that we cover up Yud K? just like mitzvah, just like for mitzvah, we said, if you remember this, many times we went into this, the word mitzvah has hidden in it Yud K and Vav K. Mitzvah. For Vav Hey is from Yud K Vav K. And Mem Tzaddik and Atbash. Atbash is we take the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet and fold them. So there's 11 here and 11 here. Also number 11, by the way. If you think about it, there's also 11. So when you fold the 22 letters into 11, so Mem corresponds to Yud, Tzaddik corresponds to Hey. Okay? It's covered up because this world can't handle the light of Yud K. So too, in numbering, okay, Tet Vav is 9. 9 is the 9 chambers, if you want to say. And Hey is something amazing. What's Hey? Hey is Simcha. the five ways of being happy. The 5, Reb Nosson goes into the Hey of Avraham. The Hey of Avraham is Kol Sason, Kol Simcha, Kol Chatan, Kol Kala, Kol Omim Hodu Lashem Ki Tov, Ki Olam Chazdo. It's the pasuk there, I think, in Yeshaya, that there's 5 kolot of simcha. So the Tet Vav, that's really, it's Tu BiShvat, so it's really 6. I made a mistake here. It can't be Tet Hey. It's Tet Vav. There's 5, there's 6 really. I'm sorry. 5, there's 6. I wanted to say it differently, sorry. This I thought was a chiddush, but it's not, that's not the chiddush. Vav is like a stick. Tet is the 9 chambers. Vav is like a stick, meaning what? That in order to perceive the 9 chambers, you need to get smashed. You need the makel. This was last week's parsha, by the way, where I don't know if you got the video. I got the file. I sent you a file. Okay, so the whole idea of Moshe Rabbeinu hitting the stone was to teach the Jewish people that when you need water to come out, you're getting hit. It's like hitting a wall. When you need shefa to come down, it's like you're hitting the keter. You're hitting a wall. And what happens when the wall is hit? Then the other rock is supposed to open up and water is supposed to come out, which is what the Jews were supposed to do. The Jews were supposed to do Shifchi Kamayim Libech. They're supposed to cry out to Hashem, Hashem, all we want to do is serve you and be good Jews. Instead, Vayilonu, they complained to Moshe Rabbeinu, they've been machloket, why'd you take us out to Egypt to kill us, our children, to kill our animals? What is this? To die from thirst? What were they supposed to do? To take the same pain and turn it to Hashem. Hashem, what do you want from us? All we wanted is to serve you. That's what Hashem was waiting for. So the idea of a rod, okay, Tet Vav. Tet is the 9 chambers, which is clean vessels for this light called the Or Ein Sof. The way to get to it is through Vav, the stick, a shtekon. Okay? So that's why Tet Vav, Tu BiShvat, it's 1 month before a Purim, but it's also 45 days before Rosh Chodesh Nissan. Okay? 45, we're going to hold that idea. Paralleling Tu BiShvat, which is 45 days before Nissan, you have another holiday also called Tu. There's only 2 holidays in the Jewish calendar called Tu BiShvat, Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av is exactly 45 days before Rosh Hashanah, and Tu BiShvat 45 days before Nissan, Rosh Chodesh Nissan.
What's Nissan so special?
Nissan is Rosh Hashanah Limlachim. And Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Hashanah of the year.
That was birthday.
Yeah, okay. And Man Malche, Rabbanan. What does it mean that Rosh Chodesh Nissan is the new year of the kings? Rabbi Nachman explains this in the Likutey Moharan, part 2, I think lesson 5, that on Nissan, on Rosh Chodesh Nissan, there is a new hitmanut, there's new positioning of kings, of angels, and of tzaddikim. Okay, in other words, tzaddikim go up a level, go up a higher level, change levels. Whoever is now more fit to be a tzaddik and a leader goes up. That's the idea of Rosh Hashanah for the kings. And for the whole world is Rosh Hashanah on Rosh Hashanah, on Tishrei. Okay? Both are different. There's I'll go into this a little. The Ramban, he says, there's tshuva of ahava and there's tshuva out of fear. Tshuva out of fear is the whole period of Tishrei. Elul, Tishrei, okay? That's tshuva out of fear. That everything is Yom Adin, Din, we have to cry, Sergei tshuva, Sliches, everything is now crying out Hashem out of panic. Hashem, I'm far from you, we have nothing, Chatanu lefanecha, we're sinners, etc., etc., okay? That's the idea of Tishrei. Nissan is tshuva out of ahava. It's a higher level. It's a level where you're not being squeezed, but because you want. I want this. I'm lovesick for Hashem. I want to come close. I'm so happy about Yiddishkeit. I'm so turned on about Torah and mitzvot and coming close and having dveikut and having a connection to God and feeling that warmth. That's a greater level. Okay, that's the idea of Nissan. So one is an opportunity. Half the year is designed for tshuva out of ahava, to give a person an opportunity to feel on his own initiative to come close to Hashem. Another half is you got to wake up. You can't waste your time anymore. You can't waste your life, because you need both. You need yira and ahava in life. If everything is just ahava, so there are times that people take advantage of it and they won't advance. But if things are only yira, people will get depressed and sad. I said, I don't need this. You need the balance. You need a balance. Small doche, yamin mekarev, right? You have the small that put the left hand, which pushes away people, to make it hard. But you have the yamin that's mekarev. You need both. You need both. Even in chinuch for children, it can't be just love, and then does what he wants, and you don't say anything, and you don't make any comment. You can't do that either. Of course, there's a balance. You have to give more love than fear. We know that today. People are really so weak. But you can't just give all love, because then they take advantage of you. They take advantage. You don't do anything. You don't say anything. Okay? So there's yira and ahava. You have to have the balance of both. That's how it is for everything. Everything needs a balance. Everything needs a ping pong. If it's just too much light, then the person will just expire. So you need the light, and then you need the bounce back. The bounce back is like the yira, and the ahava is the going forward. That I have shtukakut, and I want to go forward, and I want to advance, and everything. Okay? So this is the idea of yira and ahava. Nissan, and this time, Adar, Purim, everything is preparation for tshuva out of ahava b'zat Hashem. It says, right, in the Megillat Esther, Ki'imu ve'kiblu. Rashi, what does Rashi say there? The Jews re-accepted the Torah out of ahava. With the Purim miracle, after what happened, it was such an open miracle of hashgacha. You know, the whole Am Yisrael was about to be wiped out. It was really bad. And then v'nafochu, that it just switched totally. It was such a big miracle. The Jews were on such a high. They said, now we're going to do the Torah out of ahava. Because in Har Sinai, it was tshuva out of yira. Hashem took Har Sinai, kefa'ah kegigit. You remember that? He lifted it up and put it over the Jews. Accept the Torah. If not, I'll bury you here, right over here and now. Right? Kefa'ah kegigit. And then they had to do Na'aseh v'nishma, they had to receive the Torah out of yira. But Purim is the beginning of the preparation for tshuva to ahava, which is Nissan, and the whole idea of simcha and light. Okay, even though we say Zman Simchatenu is Sukkot, but the Zman Simchatenu Sukkot is after Yom Adin, after the Yira. The Yira came first, and then we end with Simcha. Okay, here by Pesach it's the opposite. Pesach and Adar is we start off with Simcha, and then we go into the danger zone of the Sefirot Omer, Rabbi Akiva's Talmidim dying, you know, Sefirot Omer is the time of Dinim, all the way up to Shavuot, receiving the Torah out of what? Out of Yira, right? He said it's a switch. The commemoration of Har Sinai, where the Jews receive the Torah out of Yira, takes place after Pesach, Shavuot, Vav Sivan, whereas Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret, is out of pure Simcha. The Rambam explains, so this is what I wanted to mention, that where do you see the parallel? I see now Rosh Chodesh Nissan is Rosh Hashanah. The 10th of Nissan, where the Jews in Mitzrayim began to prepare the Korban Pesach 4 days before, that's compared to Yom Kippur. Then also was Tshuva Ava, because the Egyptians were burning to see the Jews take their god, the calf, the animal, and getting ready to shecht it in front of them, you know, to do Korban Pesach. But the Jews, they didn't care about the Egyptians because they were so on a high, they were so besimcha that they did it. They weren't doubting at all. Okay, so Tetvav on Nissan is Pesach. Tetvav on Tishrei is Sukkot. Okay, then you have 7 days of Sukkot from Sukkot till Hoshana Rabbah, and then Shmini Atzeret is a Chag Bifnei Atzmo. It's a separate Chag number 8. Okay, now go back to Nissan. So I have 7 days of Pesach. What happened to number 8? Where's number 8? Where's the correspondence to Shmini Atzeret? I don't see that. You have the first day of Sukkot until Hoshana Rabbah, 7 days. First day of Pesach until Shvi Pesach, 7 days. Where's the 8th day? So the Rambam says, Sefirot Omer, from the day after Shvi Pesach until Shavuot is the Mala Me'azman. In other words, it's above time. From the day after Pesach, Shvi Pesach, Okay, day number 8. It's like in between day number 7 and day number 8. Day number 8.
Why do you have to look on sickness?
No, because we're comparing. One is tshuva of Yira, and there should be a correlation. Everything correlates.
Right.
Here you have Tu B'Av. Here you have Tu BiShvat. Here you have Purim. Here you have Tetvav Elul, 2 weeks before Elul, when people start slichas, basically, or it's really getting intense. Here you have Rosh Hashanah. Here you have Rosh Chodesh Nissan. Here you have Yom Kippur. Here you have Yud Nissan. Here you have Sukkot. Here you have Pesach. 7 days Sukkot until Hoshana Rabbah. 7 days Pesach, Shvish Pesach. Okay, Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah. What's here? So what's here? The Ramban says between day 7 and day 8 is the Sefirot Omer period from the 8th day, the day after the 22nd of Nissan until Vav Sivan. Vav Sivan is corresponding to Simchat Torah, Shmini Atzeret. Okay? Is that cool?
In Kat, they called it Chol HaMoed.
Chol HaMoed.
That's weird.
Because it's in
it is,
between.
yeah.
It's from the Ramban. The Ramban says that it's Lamal, it's above time. It's above space. That's why Sefirot Omer is not a normal period. It's a different ball game. It's a different world. You're not here. You're in a different limbo zone, leading to finally receive the Torah on Vav Sivan. Okay, that's the correlation. But here you started with Yira, you get to Simcha. That's in the period of Tishrei, and in Nissan, you start off with Simcha, and then you get to Yira. You get to because right after what's following Sivan, eventually the 3 weeks Ben Mitzrayim follows afterwards, and by Sukkot, what follows Simchat Torah? Chanukah. Also in a way, Chanukah. I mean, I didn't build it up yet. I didn't see the connection, but Chanukah in a way parallels Ben Mitzrayim. Chanukah is different than both have the same goal. This is commemorating out of Alanisim, the Beit Hamikdash, and this is commemorating out of mourning and Avelut and Kinot, the Beit Hamikdash. Each one has a different attitude. Okay, but this one starts with Ahava, get to Yira. This one starts with Yira and gets to Ahava. See that? There's something there. B'ezrat Hashem. We'll build that.
But even that's Yiras Haroimamis. It's the second level of Yira.
Well, by what? By
Nissan.
By Nissan. No, Nissan is out of Ahava. There's no Yira at all. Your Dromemut is out of Ahava.
Yeah.
There is a Yira, but it's right.
So I'm trying to say it's not the same year as before, because we only go higher. So why is love coming? Why is Ahava coming for Yira? Because it's a Yiras Haroimamis.
Right, and leading to the Yira, and then the year that leads to Ahava. The Ahava there is higher than the Yira.
Yeah. And now we're having Ahava and then the Yiras Haroimamis.
Got it.
So it's not pure Yira, it's Yiras Mitek Ahava.
Got it.
It's not like you're going down, you're going up.
Yeah.
Yiras Haroimamis.
So in any event, Shvat is a good month to subduing the 11 Haman and the 10 sons. And Rabbi Nachman's segula is to say Ktoret. And we said this many times. Don't skip Ktoret. When you're late for davening, don't start at Hoidi. Say Ktoret. Make sure you say the Ktoret. It's fundamental. The Ben Ish Chai says...
You shouldn't say it after davening?
You also do, but you have to say it before also. It's part of the Sedarim. The davening up to the Shmoneh Esrei, up to the end of Shmoneh Esrei, is broken down to 4 worlds. The Korbanot is called Olam Asiyah, the first world. The Hodu and Baruch Shamar, Pesukei de Zimra, is the world of Abiyah, Yetzirah. Then the Brachot of Kriyat Shema, and the Kriyat Shema is the world of Bria. And then the Shmoneh Esrei is Atzilut. And then we get to Sim Shalom, that's above Atzilut already, that's the Keter. And then right after you hit that, we do Tachanun. We go all the way down. We go down, but then we go up to where we left off after the Tachanun. And then we go down slowly, step by step. Ashrei Uvad Etzion is now corresponding to Pesukei de Zimra. Shir Shayom. Sorry. Ashrei Uvad Etzion corresponds to the Brachot of Kriyat Shema, I think. And then Shir Shayom is like Pesukei de Zimra. And then finally, before Alinu Shabeach, you have again Ktoret, like you did at the beginning. You have Korbanot and Ktoret. Here you have the Ktoret and the Tanad Ve'Eliyahu. And then we finish off, say goodbye for Alinu Shabeach. So the klipot shouldn't take anything from that. So we shouldn't skip.
You should go on the side.
Yeah, you should go keseder. But what if you're late? If you're late, the Ben Ish Chai says never ever skip Ktoret. It's long. It's pretty long. So he says the Ktoret is in the Korbanot at the beginning. You have the Korbanot of the Korban Tamid, וידבר השם אל משה לאמור צו ויעשה בתם את קורבני לך מילי ריח ניחוח תשמעי להקריב לי במועדון. That's קורבן. What? Nechoshet you can skip. The most important thing is the korban tamid, which is the actual korban, and then the beginning of the Torah, the psukim, atahu, and then the first braita, tanu rabanan. Don't skip that braita, the first braita. The rest, if you have no time, you have no time. What can you do? But the Ben Ish Chai says, according to the Sod and according to Rabbeinu teaches in this lesson 24, the Torah is very, very important. If you don't say the Torah, it's like you're jumping and building a building in the air. It's going to crash afterwards. You need to build with good foundations. The foundation is in the Korbanot. And then you go to Psukei Zimra, and then you get to the Berkat Kriyat and then you get to the Shmoneh. You build. You have to know what to skip. Halacha talks about what to skip when you're late. But there's also a piyasod. Ben Ish Chai says don't skip the Torah. It's so important. It's so very important. And also it's to give you that stability of having simcha. The daven b'simcha, a lot of it is dependent on if you said the Torah, believe it or not. People don't know that. People rush davening, they forgot David daven, right? They want to daven already. So, but if you say Torah, you have better chances of being part of the davening, of having a value to the davening, even if your head is not there, but you remind yourself that I'm doing something which has importance. You know, some people wake up very late and they say, my davening, what value it is. So if now you feel that your davening is of no value, so don't daven. But I have to daven. So if you have to daven, that means your davening has a value. Because if now your davening is no value, so daven twice mincha. Okay. So if you're saying, you have to chatzot yom, that means you do believe that your davening has a value. Okay? So if that's the case, you have every reason to be besimcha. Even if you daven right before chatzot yom, let's say. Halacha is, basically, until Sofzman Tefillah, today they gave a leniency that you can daven until chatzot yom. Those people daven after chatzot yom shacharit, that's a big problem, halachically. There's no one to rely upon. They have to daven twice mincha, those type of people. It's really hard. They missed it. Already, to let people daven until chatzot yom is already a leniency and became accepted a lot in halacha. Idea though, a person should daven before the latest time of Sofzman Tefillah, not after that. But if it happens, so you have who to rely upon. Okay, especially today, people are so upside down. It's hard for people to get up, hard for people this. So Allah gave leniency, but a double leniency, that's too much already. It's like Rav Nosson once saw somebody, a chassid davening, shacharit, at 2 in the afternoon. And he was davening with hitlahavut and everything. So Rav Nosson said it's like having a beautiful etrog for Hanukkah. He has a beautiful etrog, but you're on the wrong time. It's Hanukkah now. It doesn't help. Okay? Allah is clear. But the person feels bad. Oh, I miss shacharis. Okay, that's how you learn. You daven twice mincha. But I feel bad. You have no one to rely upon. If it's up to chatzot yom though, and you still feel bad, don't feel bad. If you feel slow, so don't daven and daven twice mincha. But you're not doing that, so that shows you that your davening has a value. That means you're doing something, you feel bad about it, so fight it. Fight that feeling. If really what you're doing is wrong, and you're feeling bad about it, then don't do it. But you're doing it, so be happy. It's or happy, you're doing the right thing, or sad, you're doing the wrong thing. Okay, there's no in between here. There's no okay? Or you're doing the right thing, or the wrong thing. If it's the right thing, so be happy. Yeah, but what value? No, be happy. You're doing the mitzvah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who wants you to daven. He wants your prayer even at 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock like that. He wants it. You know he wants it because you have halachic room to daven until Chatzot Yom. So you have who to rely upon, you have what to be happy about. Yeah, but look at me, I missed this minyan, I missed this and that. Shh, just do it and be happy about it, Bezrat Hashem. Okay? This is the idea of being strong and fighting Amalek, who is Amalek, by the way? Haman Amalek. Haman from the Torah. Where is Haman? What did he do in the Torah? In the Parsha of eating of the Etz Hadat Tovara, Parshat Bereshit, when Adam and Chava ate from the tree, and Hashem warned them, don't eat from the tree. So when they ate from the tree, and Hashem pretended like he didn't know, and he said, "Oh Adam, where are you?" Ooh, right, there was a ruach, there was a wind, the spirit in the Garden of Eden, and that they felt Hashem was there. So Adam and Chava were hiding because they felt naked. So he said, "Where are you?" So Adam said, "I'm hiding because I feel naked." So why do you feel naked? Could it be that you ate from the tree and I told you not to eat from? And the wording in the Torah is Hamina Etz. Could it be from the tree that I told you not to eat from? Did you eat? So the Gemara says Hamin ha'etz is Haman, otiot Haman. Hamin, hey mem nun, Hamin, going to be that from the tree. I told you not to eat. Did you eat? It's the same letters as Haman. So Haman is rooted in the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now, what part of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? The doubts, the frustration. Could it be that you did something wrong and this and that? That's Haman. Haman mentality is when you're doing something and he's always convincing you, maybe you did the right thing, you should have said it like that, you should have spoken to your wife like this, you should have did like this instead of that. You did something good, okay? And then Haman mentality, you did it wrong, you should have done like this, you would have done it better. And then you get so weighed down by the stress due to the worry if you did something right and wrong. Even though you did something right, you're not happy. You're just like, you feel like wasted, you want to go to sleep, you want to take a smoke, you want to take a coffee, whatever. You're just wasted. But why? You did something okay? Yeah, but. So the yeah, but is Haman. The yeah, but this and that, that's Haman mentality attacking you. If you did something wrong, stop thinking about it. It's done. Everything to be happy about. Okay, Rabbeinu speaks about it. He said, once something is done, it's done, finished. Okay, how I did it, that's my business. I did something, and I know there's even a nekuda tova in it. There's a good point in it. I want to be happy about. Okay, my intentions are good. I'm not perfect. I'm doing whatever I can. I did something which is messed up, but there's a good point in it. Okay, I remember once we had a Breslov English-speaking Shabbos in Meron a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, and it was so upside down. The guy, they had like little tiny platas, hot plates, and there wasn't enough for all the food. So the schnitzel went rotten. Like a lot of the food went bad. People were complaining about the food, okay? But in the end, many people were happy because we were Shabbat in Meron. You know, it's a zchut to have a breast of English-speaking Shabbos in Meron. When do you have that happen? Like once in a century, you have that happen. Once in 50 years, it happens. Okay, okay. The food went wrong. People were complaining about the lodgings and this and that. But in the whole, it worked out. Families came. There was singing. There was divrei Torah. There was davening. There's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So people with the nitty gritty, they're complaining and this. Look at the chicken. It's like rotten. It went bad. You can smell that it went bad because it was overnight in the summer. It was a summer night, so it wasn't kept hot on the plata enough time, so it went bad. Okay, so there were people who were negative. I'm not going to do this again and this and that. But the other people were happy. He said, look at this, we were together. When's the last time we were zocha to be together and our families together? And like the woman here also, Breslov Shiurim and everything. So it depends on the outlook. When you look in general, you can find a good point here and there. But when you look in detail, that's Haman. Haman is etzadat tov vara. Okay? Tov vara. And with a leaning towards the ra of tov vara. He's like, it's like, How about the good? Yeah, but look, this went wrong, that went wrong, this went wrong. And it gets you so overwhelmed and burdened in your head about, I should have done like this, should have done like that. And then he gets you into stress and into worry. And that leads to sadness and depression. That's the opening. So our goal is to subdue Haman, who takes that distress, stress, despair, and then brings it to worry. And he transfers all your holy energy from the 10 levels of Kedusha to the 10 of Tuma, which is his sons, the 10 sons of Haman. He's the connector. According to the Kabbalah, who corresponds to the connector between the impurity and the pure? The Levona. You have Levona and Chelbena. Remember? We thought originally that Chelbena is that connector. It can't be. Chelbena is the lowest of the 10. The connector is the Levona, which corresponds to the Keter. The Keter of the Klipa. The Keter of the Klipa that takes from the holiness and brings it to the impurity. That's just like you have a Keter of Kedusha, you have a Keter of Klipa. So the Keter is the Levona, that's Haman. Haman is the one who's doing the transferring. We went into this a lot. You remember? We said take a look in your Matok Midvash. Go take a look, and you'll see that Levona is the Keter, and Haman, he's not below his 10 sons. He's above his 10 sons. So he's feeding. Chelbena is the lowest of his 10 sons, the lowest proximity.
So always the highest level of the lower world is always the Kesser of the next word. So the Chelbena is the lowest part of the next word, right? So it's the highest.
Yeah, but listen, you have the 10 sons here, Haman here, and 10 levels of Kedusha here. There's no now higher level and lower level, okay? Here you have 10, and here also you have 10. It's not like this now. It's 10 versus 10. 10 levels of Kedusha, 10 levels of impurity. The bridge gap is Haman. And of the fragrances, which does the bridge, which is able to take from the holiness and bring it to the impure? Levona. That's why it's called Lavan. Levona means like Lavan, which is white. White light. That's the idea of the Keter. Okay? And this is why Lavan was called Lavan. Lavan the trickster. The father of Yaakov was called Lavan because he was such a trickster. He was able to take even from the Loven Ha'elyon, the upper white, which is the idea of the Keter. Okay? And there's a big connection between Amalek and Lavan. Lavan was reincarnated in his grandson. They say his grandson was Bilam. Okay? And Haman is the representation of Amalek. When you spell Bilam, Bet Lain, Lamed Ain Mem, and then right underneath it you spelled Amalek, Ain Mem Lamed Kuf. So there's 4 letters here. Bet Lamed Ain Mem. 4 letters here. Ain Mem Lamed Kuf. You can now spell out in a new format, again, Bilam and Amalek. You take the Bet Lamed from Bilam, and you take the Ain Mem from Amalek, that's again Bilam. And then you take the Ain Mem from Bilam, and then the Lamed Kuf from Amalek, that's again Amalek. Okay? To show you the connection. What's the connection between Bilam and Amalek? The idea of fooling people. Taking from a high level of Kedusha and fooling you. Just making you feel that you didn't accomplish, that you didn't get anywhere, that things are bad. And by doing that, stealing from you. Stealing, that's what Haman did. Okay? So our goal on this 11th month is to strengthen the 11 of Kedusha, the 11 Sefirot of holiness, and the Keter, to not let Haman and his 10 sons steal. The way to do that, Rabbi Nachman teaches, is to say the Torah with simcha, with kavanah, and not to skip the Torah. To say it, to make sure you say it, because that's your handle, your weapon, your stick, your shtekel to fight against. Okay? So this is hinted to in Tet Vav. Tu BiShvat is the representation of the one who fights Amalek. Who fights Amalek? Yehoshua. Yehoshua is, the Midrash compares Yehoshua ben Nun to the idea of the new year for the truth, for the fruit trees. Why? You have a tree and you have a fruit. The Arizal says the tree corresponds to the tzaddik. Tzaddik is Sodolam, is like the trunk. And then you have the branches, smaller branches, then you have the leaves, and then finally you have the fruit. So these correspond to many levels of Jews, but the final level, the product of everything, is the Talmid. What good is it to have a tzaddik if he doesn't have Talmidim? You have a tzaddik, but he was a tzaddik for himself. If he didn't spread his Torah, he didn't pass it down to the next generation, so what hana'ah, what benefit is this? So the goal of a tree is to have fruit. So the Midrash compares Yehoshua ben Nun to a fig tree. When Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem, okay, I'm leaving this world, so I want to appoint one of my children to replace me. Hashem says, no, I didn't have that in mind. So Moshe said, who's going to replace me? He says, the one who set up the benches in the Beit Midrash and served coffee and cakes in the Beit Midrash to all the Talmidei Chachamim. Who was that? Yehoshua. Yehoshua ben Nun wasn't as big as the 70 elders and as Aaron and as Chor. He was below. But because he was Mishamesh, he was able to pick up good points here and there. The Midrash compares Yehoshua to a fig tree. The pasuk is Yotzer Te'ena Yochal Pirya. The one who guards the figs will eat the fruit. What's so special about a fig tree? Fig tree, even till today, even back then, is very difficult in protecting them from worms. If now you leave the fig on the tree 1 day extra after it's ripe, it gets infested with worms. It has to be harvested and eaten on the same day that it's ready. They harvest and they bring them to the shuk and they sell them. So, but now what?
Each fig separately.
Yeah.
It's the only tree that you
exactly
harvest each fig separately.
So the fig owner has to go every day to the fig tree when begins the period that it's ripe, because there's a period of the year that the fig tree starts to ripen. But he has to check every day which figs are ready. And for goyim doesn't make a difference. What are the machpat laim with the worms? But for Jewish commercial, for Jewish business, he has to go every day, see which figs are ready, on the spot cut them, and bring them, sell them in the market that same day. If not, they get infested, they get rotten, whatever. You have to. Today they refrigerate if you can do that. But they had sometimes. I was zoche to eat from a badatz fruit store. He says you can have this. It's fresh. You can eat it. There's no worms in it. It was plucked today. You can eat it. You know, like it was. I was amazed. I haven't had a fresh fig like in years. And he said, open it, just take a look. Even that's hard to do because the worm looks exactly like the seed. That's why is a fig so difficult to eat? Because the worm looks exactly like the seed of the fig. You can't tell the difference. You have to now open it up and shake it in water and see if they start moving and see if they do funny stuff. It's crazy. But if it's on the same day, you can eat it. Okay, it's mochzak. So the fig tree, it's like taking one here, one here, one here. It's not like a tree where we can harvest all the oranges now, harvest all the apples. By the fig, like we said, every day has to go and check which figs are ready. So to Yehoshua was like that. He was able to find a good point here, a good point there, another point of Torah. So because his Torah was due to collecting information and good stuff, he had a clear perspective of Torah Hashkafa, which was healthy and strong, enough to be a leader. So Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Yehoshua is going to be after you, because the way he learned Torah is not just like reading from the books and like that. Okay, he was looking for good points here, and that's enough to make him into a strong leader. So Tu BiShvat corresponds to the Talmidim, and Yehoshua was the one who fought Amalek. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu send Yehoshua? Tzei lachem b'Amalek. Why does the Talmud have to fight Amalek? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu himself go? That's the whole thing. That Amalek, the real battle to subdue Amalek, is someone who's a Talmid Dafka. Because Amalek is a shapeshifter, if the tzaddik fights him, for sure he'll be wiped out. No problem. But in Amalek, there's the point to wipe out and to extract the good that's stuck there. For that, to do that, you need the Talmid, who's himself borderline. He's in and out also. He's not a tzaddik yet. He's a Talmid, and he has that koach to fight. With the koach of the tzaddik, he's able to subdue and to extract the holiness that's stuck in Amalek. If the tzaddik comes, it's like an inferno, just burning it like an atom bomb. If the tzaddik goes to fight Amalek, he'll burn everything, because he's kanai. The tzaddik is strong and extreme, and Amalek is so bad. Hashem wants him destroyed, but to find the holy spark. Holy sparks are in Amalek, like we know, that they say in the Gemara that Haman had descendants who were learning Torah in Bnei Brak, right? There were converts descended from Haman Amalek. There were, okay? So that's the case. Why totally destroy him? Destroy the bad, totally, but the good has to come out. There has to be room for the good to come out. Even Amalek and Haman has some,
Haman is
Tovara. So we have to extract the good. So the Talmidim can do that, but the tzaddik can't do that. Fine. I think I went off a lot. All right? Fine. So this idea of Tu
What
BiShvat.
about Tu BiShvat? Like, what do we got? What's the avoid in Breslov? What should we do? What's the...
The avodah of Breslov? One second, something just happened here. This meeting? Okay.
What happened?
I think it's okay, it's still recording.
Can't record?
The avodah of Tu BiShvat is to get ready for Purim and to eat the fruits and what Halakha says, don't say tachanun and be happy. And intensify your preparation for Purim.
No, for good.
40 days before Purim, 30 days before Purim, okay? Where in Breslov they pray, they're already full force in Rav Noson's prayer. 37, part 2. Full force already.
Down for good esrog.
Daven for esrog is from the Bnei Yisachar. We already daven for good esrog. You know when? In the Bnei Metzarim we daven for good esrog. In the prayer for Bnei Metzarim on Torah Samach Zayin, part 2, about the etrog is the hidur and of the noi of the tzaddikim. B'ezrat Hashem.
You saying Tu BiShvat, just gotta eat fruit and that's it?
What? Got it. Do what the minhag is. There's no special devotion in Breslov. Sorry, there's no special avoda. Why the Hasidim they have special avoda and this and that? Breslov it's preparation for Purim now. B'ezrat Hashem. This achana for Purim. B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, let's go into the Sefer. Can we learn a little? Okay. So we're holding. You have Likutey Moharan here if you want. We're going to try to advance a little, hopefully, in this Torah Kaf Dalet, paragraph number 8. And Rav Nosson, Rabbeinu is going to explain a bit more about the concept of the Tzachtzachot, which we have to explain a little.
Which Torah?
Torah Kaf Dalet, lesson 24, Seif Chet. Okay? So let's to recap a little. He said this before. We said before this that when a Jew does mitzvot b'simcha, his mitzvah, his energy, his kedusha goes up and up and up and up, and it eventually reaches the level of the keter. And the keter's job is to keep a person in patience, in waiting, in order to settle his mind, to be ready to receive the infinite light. So when a person makes and is rectifying the settling and organizing of the mind, shua keter karaui, he does it properly, meaning he accepts the waiting period properly, he doesn't force the situation, he doesn't try to force and run. That was last week's parsha, that it said that Rashi brings down that Bnei Ephraim left Egypt earlier. They didn't want to wait, and they were all killed. What's the idea of leaving early and getting killed? When a person doesn't have patience for kedusha, and he tries to run in, he gets wasted. He just disappears. This is a big test in life. You have many people, even in holiness. Okay, let's go. They're eager and zealous. Everywhere in life, in kedusha especially, you need to know how to have patience. You need to know how to wait. There are times to go forward. Like for example, a bachor likes running. You see this in the mikveh. You have the older people who are walking slowly to the mikveh. You have the young guy, he's like trying to pass by everyone to get to the mikveh door and to go in. And so it's an attribute of value, okay? But what's greater, the quickness of a young guy, or the slowness and thinking out things of an older person? Older person, if he wanted to, he can technically run faster and everything, but he knows that Yeshuva Dat is a virtue. Yeshuva Dat, being calm, is a greater level than doing things fast. Doing things fast because you have energy. Okay, bravo, you have energy. What do you want? So you're doing things fast, but your head is not there. Things, okay, what have to do. It says in Breslov Therapy, not to waste time. So good. Okay, so you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're at the right age. But you should know a greater level is when you do things with proper thinking and proper waiting and proper settle in the mind. That's a greater level. You went to the running already. I did the running part of life. Now I do things step by step, slowly, and it's a greater accomplishment. Even though it's slower, but it has the quality is much more greater. When you're younger, there's more quantity and less quality. And when you're older, there's less quantity but more quality. And then you need that. The quality at the end of the day, the eichut, not the kamut, the eichut. Okay? That's what we want to get to. But it starts off by doing a lot when you're younger. Okay? So when a person, he does it properly. And like we said, he's able to wait and be b'simcha and accept the waiting process as part of the process. It's part of the picture. And the mind, the person's mind, because he's in such a high of simcha, so he's running to perceive the infinite light. And like we said many times, this applies for sure to the greatest tzaddikim, but every Jew at his level has this in their life. You have these attitudes and these situations where things are going just amazing. You have a green light, and you're advancing, and you feel great, and you feel like all the doors are opening in front of you, so you go forward. But you know, I'm going to have to wait, there's going to be a red light soon, and I'm going to have to stop soon. Okay? So the tendency, though, when there's a green light, you go forward. But the keter stops the intellect from going forward. Why? In order to settle the mind. And why do you need to settle the mind? Because only once the mind is settled can it become a vessel to receive the infinite light. Because a person's head is all mumbled because he's trying to do things and trying to go advance. So the mumbling doesn't allow his mind to be a vessel to receive in its light. It has to be settled like a puzzle. You put the pieces of the puzzle in the right places, then it can receive the light. Okay? We're going to go into this, hopefully we have time, why it's like this. And now through the running of the mind forward, and the keter stopping the mind from going forward, each person according to his level, so then the mind, the intellect hits into the keter, which is called the settling and organizing of the mind. And what's created by this running and being bounced back, this creates a hechal. A hechal which is created from a running and then a bouncing back, so it creates something which is above space, above time. Because Radifa is going this way, and Ma'akev is going this way, so it's like boom boom, it's like two directions, and it create this running and being bounced back creates something called a hechal. A hechal, but it's a transcendent hechal, because it's made from a place which is not forward and not backwards. It's both. It's like the time that the bounce took place, you're running forward, and then the bounce pushes you back. At that point of boom, boom, which is not here and not there, it's like a shock. At that point of the shock, this is what creates a hechal, which is transcendent. It's above your level, but it's being made. And this hechal, what's the purpose of it? The purpose is to be a room to receive within it the Or Ein Sof. And he says, look, and even though it's a hechal, afal pichen la yedia v'la ityada, nonetheless, this hechal is not known and doesn't make itself known. It's unknown. Kamuva, in other words, you're making it, but you're not aware of it. You don't see it. You can't touch it. You can't have any access to it. Kamuva b'Zohar Parshat Noach, as is brought down in the Zohar Parshat Noach, page 65. We went this many times. Umigohai prisa berdifa dai machshava, and from within this prisa, this curtain, through this other running of the machshava, what's accomplished? Mate vela mate, reaching and not reaching. This term mate vela mate, even though it's found in the Zohar and the Kitvei Ari a lot, but it doesn't mean the exact same thing as it means there. Here it means from bottom to up. I'm going up and then being bounced back down, bottom. Whereas mate vela mate in the Kitvei Ari is from above down. The Hashem's light went down and then went back up. So it's two directions. So you can't take what's written there and apply it to here, only the term. The term is mate vela mate, which means in and out. And Hashem made the creation dafka like this, that things have to be in and out. You can't be totally in and not totally out. It's in and out. That's how life is. In and out. In and out. Uprisa, what is this prisa from the Zohar? This is the organizing and settling of the mind. Shu bechinat keter, which is idea of the keter. Okay? Shu bechinat keter. Fine. Why is parus called keter? Shu parus bein hanetzalim lebein hamatzim, because it's spread out like a curtain, the keter, between the creator, those created, and the creator. This is the wall. We have to see why did Hashem make this wall? Why did Hashem make the creation like this, dafka? Itavidu teisha hechalim, and Hashem, and the Zohar goes on. This creates 9 chambers. These 9 chambers are the chambers for the Or Ein Sof, and they're not 9 in total. The lav inu nehorim, they're not at the level of nefesh. Vela ruchim, vela nishmatim. Like we just said about tetvav. Tetvav shvat, tetvav av. Tetvav. Tet is 9. To come to the 9 chambers is through vav, a stick, which is like a wall. The letter vav is also like a wall. In order to create the 9 chambers, you have to hit the wall. You have to hit the wall. If you don't hit the wall in life, you won't create these 9 chambers. You won't advance. Okay? People think advancement, another Masechta Gemara, another Daf, another this, another Mishnayos. So that's advancing. Okay, bravo. You're receiving the Torah at your present level. For you now to go up to the next level, you need a wall. You need a setback. Okay? All that Torah will only come into play, like it says in lesson 22, Likutey Moharan. Eina Torah mitkayem ela b'mi shenichshal bo. Rabbeinu is quoting a midrash. The Torah is only found in somebody who stumbles in the Torah. You have to have setbacks and fallings in life. That's the only way for the Torah to be mitkayem. You learn, great. You learn everything. You have theoretical. Practice is that you have to have a setback. You have to have something pushing you back. And the combination of you learning, which is advancing, and then the setback in life, dafka, that combination is what creates these echalot, these 9 chambers. 9 we'll go into eventually why number 9, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay? But Rabbeinu is going back to the Zohar there. Itavidu teishai chelun. These 9 chambers, lav inu nehorim. They're not at the level of the nefesh. V'la ruchin. They're not at the level of the ruach. They're not at the level of the neshama. I went into this many times already. Relate man de kaima behu. No one can stand in front of them. That's corresponding to the nefesh, the neho, the light. V'la midabikin. No one can attach to it. That's the idea of the ruach. V'la mityadin. And they're not known. That's the idea of the neshama. Okay. V'da. She said tachlit hayediyah. All this we did already. Just reviewing it. And you should know this is tachlit hayediyah. This is the goal of knowledge. What's the goal of knowledge? To not know. Ki tachlit hayediyah de lo yeda. Your finishing off point is not, oh, now I know. By university, it's opposite. By the worldly knowledge, you end up knowing. I have my diploma. I'm now a doctor. I'm now a lawyer. You end up with something. In Judaism, the exact opposite. The final level, I have no idea what's going on. Fine, I know halacha, I know chumash, I know mishnayot, I know gemara, I have experience, I know how to shochet, I know how to do milah. But what's this for? I have no idea. In other words, the next level is always beyond you. Beyond you. And you end with that. You end with the attitude, de lo yeda. That's how you know you're on the right track, is that you're always facing levels that you don't know. And you're not like, oh, I know. People think finishing Shas is an accomplishment. I finished Shas, I finished Shulchan Aruch, I got my diploma, I'm a rabbi. So people who look at the Torah like that, like a university studying, they miss the point totally. The whole goal of learning Torah is to make you realize how much you don't know. You're opening up to levels that were beyond you. You had no idea they existed. Okay? That's why we say tach yeda de lo yeda, and this is the way that this is the sign that you're on the right path. So Rabbeinu just said everything we said until now is in this famous phrase from the Sefer called Bechinot Olam. And now he said, this is what we were holding last week. Everything said until now is in this pasuk that Hashem will give you satisfaction in your nefesh with the tzachtzachot. Tzachtzachot. What's tzachtzachot? Ki orot elu hema tzachtzachot. He introduces a new term. These lights, orot. Why is it in plural? He started off saying the or ein sof in singular. And now he says plural, orot, plural, lights. Because now there's 9 chambers. So each chamber is a kli for a different level of light. So it's plural, orot. And he says these lights that are contained in these 9 chambers, that is made when a person is running and then bounce back. And now he creates orot for tzachtzachot to receive within them the infinite light, which we call tzachtzachot. Because why is it called tzachtzachot? We said this last week. The way to perceive the infinite light is that it's 2 opposites. Tzach is the actual light, which is pure, but it comes through being tzachut. Tzachut means someone who's thirsty, someone who's parched and thirsty. Like Rav Nosson brings the pasuk in Likutey Tfilot on this part, Tzama nafshi lelokim lekel chai matai avo vera'eh pnei Elohim. My soul is thirsty for Elohim. That's tzachut. When a person is spiritually thirsty, so he says, Hashem, I'm thirsty for you. Ratzon is the expression of tzachut. Okay? So he's saying now, all of this is called tzachtzachot. Shem lemala me'asfirot. They're above the sfirot. This is the light that's beyond the keter. Okay? Or the tzachtzachot. The Berditchever, Rav Kedushat Levi, he explains beautifully the idea of tzachtzachot. Okay? Hashem, at the beginning of creation, this stuff is amazing. This stuff that talks about the beginning of creation, it's just unbelievable. Hashem's light was everywhere. To make the creation, Hashem had to make what's called the chalal hapanui. In order for the creation to exist, in order for something to be outside of Hashem, and why would Hashem want to do that? To have someone to receive His goodness. If Hashem is everywhere, so there's no recipient. There's no one who appreciates Hashem's goodness. How could someone appreciate Hashem's goodness if there's a second existence outside of Hashem? So Hashem Kivyachol made an emptiness inside of Him, and in this emptiness called Chalal HaPanui, Hashem created the universe inside, including mankind, in this emptiness. And mankind in the emptiness can now be the receiver of Hashem's goodness. Okay? So, there's Hashem and there's the creation. Now, between Hashem and the creation, Hashem made a wall. Why? Because Hashem felt that if now directly His light goes into the creation directly, they won't be able to handle the intensity of the light directly. So Hashem created this concept of making a wall. He could have done it without that, but Hashem wanted to teach us this idea that there is a 3-stage process between Hashem and the creation. There is this level called the Keter, or the Tzachtzachot, or the Tzachtzachot beyond the Keter, that's responsible for taking the big light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and bringing it in tzimtzumim, in very constricted format, that the creation can handle the light without exploding. Hashem taught this lesson by creating the world initially with a defect. The defect, it's called in the Kabbalah, and it's pretty dangerous to learn this. They say to learn this section of Kabbalah on Shabbat, because Shabbat will protect you. It's called Shah Nikudim. There's Akudim and Nekudim. These are very deep terms. Nekudim was that Hashem created the 10 levels of Sefirot, the 10 levels of energy, independent, not connected. So when Hashem sent His light into the 10 Sefirot, it was so intense because they had no connection. The Kelim blew up. Shvirat HaKelim. The Sefirot blew up and left behind shards of holiness spread in the area of darkness. And our whole work now in life is to collect all that Kedusha that's trapped from before the creation. Before Adam HaRishon. Unbelievable. That's our job. Okay? The problem is that we've added more sins and more blemishes. So in addition to these holy sparks from before Adam HaRishon, we have from the accumulation of all the generations, and especially from us, more holiness that's trapped in evil. And our job is to extract everything. And Rabbeinu says in this lesson, the way to do that is doing mitzvah b'simcha. That's how far-reaching simcha is in doing a mitzvah, is that it goes all the way to elevate this holiness that's stuck there. Okay? But Hashem did this purposely. Why? To teach mankind, you need a wall. You need a wall. Because if now there's Hashem and then the creation directly, it'll blow up. So Hashem made a keter, a wall, and the wall is responsible for taking the light, but then sending it to the right amount that they don't crack, they don't crash. It causes the tzimtzum. Okay? The Berdichever, it's beautiful, Kedushat Levi, mamash the beginning, the Parashat Bereshit, his second drasha, he says like this: Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Right? Bereshit, at the beginning point, or for the sake of the beginning point, bara Elokim et. So at the Bereshit, he reads like this, the Berdichever. First, Hashem created bara, right? Bara, Elokim made bara. Bereshit bara Elokim. Elokim made something called bara, and this bara brought forth et. With it comes et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Unbelievable, the Berdichever. He says the bara was the Tzachtzachot, this level of splendor, and that splendor, from the splendor comes et. Et, he says, is not the, but it's like mimino. What's the pasuk say? Sorry. Where's the pasuk? I want to see it inside. The ata merivivot kodesh. Ata is like in Aramaic. Ate, come. Comes forth. The word et is like ata merivot kodesh. Okay? וזהו פירוש הפסוק בפשוטו. בראשית הכל ברא אלוקים את השמיים. תיבת את כמו אתה. א' תו ה' ואתה פירוש ואתה מריבות קודש. וזהו פירושו. At the beginning, Hashem made something that from that something will come forth shamayim and aretz. The et is not the, it means ata, coming from. Unbelievable. So the Berdichever Kedushat Levi reads Bereshit, beginning, bara Elokim. Hashem made something, which is the Tzachtzachot, that now takes the infinite light and then filters it out that everyone in creation can receive with the normal amount. So from that came Shamayim v'aretz. It's unbelievable. In the Kabbalah, another term for Tzachtzachot is called Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon is called the primordial man, the first man. Okay? What does that mean, first man? This is a level beyond Adam Arishon. Adam Kadmon, it means the first level of recipient from Hashem's light is Adam Kadmon. It's a level we have no grasp of. And Adam Kadmon is responsible for giving light to the creation. This fits in with us in that Tu BiShvat is 45 days before Rosh Chodesh Nissan. 45 is Gematria, Adam. Tetvav is a 9 and a stick. The way to receive the infinite light has to be a filter. The filter is the idea of the wall. The wall is a filter. You want to go forward? No. Stop. But why? Because you're not ready. You're too much energy, too much light. And will give you more light in your situation, you'll explode. So the wall cools the person down. And while cooling down, he's yearning. He wants to come closer. Yearning comes out. The yearning allows him now to accept the setback because it's causing him to yearn. And with that combination, he creates Tzachtzachot for him. He allows the Tzachot to bring the Tzach, the light, to filter down to him in 9 chambers. We didn't go into 9 at all. We have to go into Bezat Hashem in the next class, hopefully. But this is the idea of the Tzachtzachot. So he says again, Ki orot elu hema Tzachtzachot. These lights are the Tzachtzachot, shehem lemala me'asfirot. They're above the Sefirot. Okay? And it's a domain which is like, you have no grasp of it. And then he says, the Korban finishes, Ashrei mi shezoche sheyerdov machshavto la'asig hasagot elu. You need a zchut. Fortunate is the person who zoche, that his mind runs to perceive these perceptions. Okay? Fortunate is the person. Why? Because most people, they give up. Most people can't handle the setbacks of life. And they take the setback as a setback. I'm never going to make it. Look at me. I'm so old already. I tried so many times to lose weight and to be kadosh in eating. It's not working. I tried so much to have concentration in davening and it's not working. I tried so many years to work on my midot, to work on my anger, to work on kedushat habrit and everything. And just look at me. So most people, they take the setbacks as Yehush and they stop. Rabbeinu is saying, Ashrei mi shezoche sheyerdov machshavto. In his words is hidden the secret to have this happening. You want to make it, you have to accustom yourself to saying Ashreinu. You hear that? You have to be someone who can always say Ashreinu, how lucky I am, and you value the good even amongst the bad. You're able to value the good. Okay, like the fruit. Tu BiShvat, finding the fig fruits. That's a Yehoshua. Okay? Ka Oshia. Ka Yehoshua is made up of Yud K, right? Ka Yoshaotcha. Moshe Rabbeinu added the Yud, so it should be Yud K. In Hosea should be Yehoshua, so that Hashem should save you. That your salvation doesn't come from Vav K, which is the lower Sefirot. It comes from Yud K. You, Yehoshua Benu, need extra protection. So I, Moshe Rabbeinu, am giving you a letter Yud. I'm giving the letter Yud to become from Hosea to Yehoshua, that your salvation to make it in life is coming from the highest of levels, from Yud K. Not Vav K, Yud K, which corresponds to Yud K is there's four letters, right? Yud K, Vav K. And in the Yud, there's the Kutz on the bottom of the letter Yud, which is the 5th level. The 5th level is the Tzachtzachot. The five levels is Tzachtzachot, Adam Kadmon, Atzilut, Birya, Yetzira, Asiya. The 4 worlds, plus access to the infinite light, which is the Tzachtzachot. Okay? So Moshe Rabbeinu adding a Yud, he gave to Yehoshua, accessing the Adam Kadmon, the Tzachtzachot. I know it's a bit of Kabbalah, fine, but accessing the highest level, plus the first actual vessel, Chokhmah, which is the world of Atzilut, plus the hay that he had already. He was fit to have a hay, and then he said that's your key for salvation. And this idea is relevant to every Jew. Every Jew who's being attacked from Haman Amalek with all these crazy thoughts, the only way to survive them and to make it is you have to make yourself into an idea of a Talmid. If you're not a Talmid and you're just a loner in life, a loner on your own and doing things, you will fall. You will fall in Haman Amalek's hands. The secret to success against Haman Amalek and the attacks is you have to see yourself as a Talmid. If you see yourself as a Talmid, so the tzaddik gives you a Yud. You become Yehoshua. And your salvation now is coming from a higher level now. You're not dependent on low things. Your salvation is something higher and you can access it. It's like some people, they feel like all types of therapy is not good for them. They did this type of therapy, they did the shiatsu, they did the needles, they did this type of thing, they did all these type of things, and they claim, I'm such a broken case, I've gone through so much impurity in my life, that only a high level of Kedusha can help me. There's a lot of sense in that, or in other words, a high level, which is beyond what's being offered to the world, only that can help me. That makes sense if the person feels they're very, very lost and they've done terrible things in their life. So yes, you need for them something at a higher dosage. What could that be? That could be the Yud. The Kutz of the Yud, which is accessing the highest level. From there your salvation comes. We said this many times. The reason why people today, before Mashiach comes, are so broken, and people are in matzav of karet. You have people who are transgressing karet every day. It's become so common for people to become a brit. And when I grew up, my time, hashash, oy vey, talking about people who do become a brit memezid. Everything was shogeg back then. And now, it's like open. People who are married and everything, they have problems with mezid like every day. It's like common. It's like so what's going on? What in the world is that people are in a situation of chayav karet, that's on the halachic perspective, and spiritually also, people feel cut off. Karet means to be cut off. People feel detached. He's doing everything. He's learning in kollel. He's married. He has kids. He goes to shul. He does everything. He has the payas and the beard and the tzitzis and everything, but he feels cut off. He feels like a wall. So why? Why, Ribono Shel Olam, have you made it so difficult for us now? Is because now, at this time, we're chayav karet, and we're in a karet scenario, because we're being squeezed to access the keter. Keter, the same letters as karet. The only way to get out of the karet is we're being squeezed to access the keter, the highest level. Not to settle for Joe Schmo. He's my local rabbi, he's enough for me, and this. I had a funny guy in New York. Like, he felt I was like always attacking him. Because I was trying to convince him to become a Breslov. And I didn't say anything to the guy. And he's saying, I blessed him, you should always be b'simcha. He said, I'm b'simcha. I don't need Breslov to be b'simcha. I'm happy and everything. I'm just laughing at these people because, the guy is not making it in life. And he pretends he's making it in life. And they say, I don't need, I'm okay. And you see the guy is suffering. You see the guy is making major mistakes. And many people like that. They say, I'm okay with Joe Schmo. I'm okay with a regular thing. But it's not enough. It's not. Look, the guy is plutzing himself. So what's the idea? That a person has to realize, I need nothing less than the highest level possible to save me. Anything less won't help me. That's how it is now. Before Mashiach comes, we are so far, so broken, that only accessing the keter can help us. So going back, a person has to see himself like a Talmid. A Talmid, okay, Ya Yoshiacha, with access to the light of the Talmid, you can be happy for every good point. Like Yeshua, Yotzer Te'ena, here's a good fig, and then you can say Ashreinu. So going back, Ashrei, I went off a little bit, these are points which are so important. Fortunate is the person, someone who has the merit that his mind should run to perceive these perceptions of the light of the Tzachtzachot. Okay, it doesn't come to everybody. You need Ashreinu, you need to be Zoche, to be positive and strong and do the right thing. And he says, even though what you're trying to grasp is beyond being grasped. You're trying to catch something which is untangible. You're trying to hold on and access something which is intangible. Tell that to people. You want me to connect to something which is not flying in the air? I need solutions. I need something on the ground. And we're telling the person what you're looking for is way up. What? So what do you want from me? So you have to do the right thing, and you'll access the Orot Tzachtzachot. What's the right thing? Number one, doing mitzvot b'simcha. And number two, when being bounced back, to be parched, to express the retzonot, the yearning. This second stage allows you to access the orot tzachtzachot. And how? What? No one knows. See, אף על פי שאין יכולת ביד השכל להשיג אותם, כי לה מתדבקים ולא ידיעם. You can't מדבק to them, ולא ידיען. This is a question here. He didn't say, like he said, kayam, the first one. He said two of the three. לדבק, ידיעה. לית man דקיימה בהו. We said earlier before. No one can stand in front. לית man דקיימה בהו, ולא מדבקין ולא מידיעין. And now he just says the last two. לא מדבקין ולא ידיען. It's a question for next time, Bezrat Hashem. Wish me zoche to have the light of Yehoshua Binun on Tu BiShvat and be besimcha, ki besimcha tetzeu and ashreinu. Thank you. Fine and nice.
Amazing sheet.
Fine and nice.